That's better. Well, hello there. It says we're live and looks like it's time. Hi, welcome to Breathe, Relax, Recover. Today we're going to do things a little bit different. As you can see, I'm down here and find a place that you can move around a little bit. You don't need a lot of space, just maybe a 4x4 section. So please remember the drills I'm going to teach here are not meant to diagnose or treat or cure any kind of illnesses. If you're not feeling good, please go see your doctor and get yourself checked out. Also, you're safe when you're doing all these drills, so make sure you're in a place where you're not going to hit your head on something or get dizzy and fall down, things like that. Anytime we're doing these drills, it's your lungs and you are in control, so you can stop the breathing drills at any time you want and just breathe and relax and breathe at your normal pace. So today we're going to do a little bit of movement incorporated along with the breathing drills. So that's why I'm on the floor, because we're going to roll around a little bit. A lot of times we take the tension of our day and our life and we put it someplace in our body. For me personally, I put it right here in my sternum and in my esophagus, and that's where I put all of my intention, which means not my attention, but tension, which means I create pain and tightness in this area. Some of us put it in our head or our eyes or our jaw or our back or neck or our shoulders, our hips or legs. We put it in different places and create pain and tension and discomfort there. So this set of drills I'm going to do along with movement and breathing will help kind of get some extra movement in and help those. So whenever I have some kind of backache or something nagging that I just can't get rid of, I will come here and get on my mat and do some of this breathing drills and some of the rolling around that I'm going to show you today. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, let's review and make sure you're breathing through or down into your stomach and not high in the chest. So if you're breathing, put a hand on your belly and a hand on your chest. And if your breathing looks like this, where you breathe in and your chest moves, and you breathe out and goes down, that's called paradoxal breathing, and because we want the breathing down here, because your diaphragm is your primary muscle of respiration and foot cramp, sorry. And when it contracts, it pushes down and out, which is going to push all this down and out, so your belly should move, so it should look like this. And you can see my hand moving there. Now, one of the ways I've taught to get yourself to do this breathing in your belly, take your thumbs, stick them in your sides, and bring your hands together so your fingers are just touching. I want to come up a little bit closer. So they're just touching. So when you inhale, those will come apart. When you exhale, they'll go back together. And again, I'm not moving my hands, and I'm not just pushing my belly in and out. I'm actually breathing down. And eventually we want to go more than just belly breathing, but three-dimensional, so your side, your back, all of that goes, because you're breathing down like this, kind of this direction, not up here, okay? All right, so for starters, let's get in this, what I call a shin box or a 90-90 position. I don't care which leg is where, because we're going to switch back and forth a little bit. But you got one leg here in front of you, and you're next to your foot and your thigh or your knee, and then your other leg is kind of behind you like this. So it's called a shin box or 90-90. Now, if you don't have the flexibility or mobility for this and you can't get your hips in this position, then go ahead and put your feet out in front of you and give yourself some support here. And you can have your legs just bent a little bit, right, out here like this. And that's also appropriate and fine too, because we're going to move those around a little bit, right? So we'll go ahead and lay back here on the ground. Make sure the camera can kind of see. And you can have your legs, your feet pulled in close here. And then we're just going to, so that's back to that shin box that I was in, right? We're just going to move your knees back and forth. And again, if you don't have the mobility, you can come out here and do them like this way. Okay, so we're just gonna do a few reps of this, of just kind of gently moving our legs back and forth. Let's get some motion in our hips and a little bit of feedback into our back. And just kind of lay here and relax. And go back and forth a few times, kind of like a little warm up, sort of. From here, you can also practice your belly breathing, because you can put your hand here and see if you're breathing up into making your belly go, right? And just rock back and forth a few times. And again, if you don't have the mobility and you have to have your legs straight out like this, you can go like that, and that's fine too, okay? All right, now we're gonna start adding some breathing. So I want your tongue in a spot. I'm gonna sit up here. Tongue in the spot, so you make the E, and then the N sound. So make an E, hold the E, and then making it turn into an N, so E, and hold that spot. I don't care if your teeth are touching or not. They can be closed or slightly open, but I want your tongue kind of balled up and back and high in the roof of your mouth, so it's not touching your top front teeth. It's kind of back a little bit. Now when you do this E, and hold it, that's going to block off your airway through your mouth, so it'll force you to breathe through your nose, and that's what I'd like to do. Now, if you're congested and you can't breathe through your nose, go ahead and open your mouth, and that's fine. Okay, so in, hold that, breathe into your belly. I'm going to go back to this position, and we're going to go ahead and start one side to the other. I don't care. And then you're going to breathe in as you bring your legs up. And then breathe out to take them down the other side. Okay, breathe in, out, breathe in, and out. And then come back to neutral. And there's something I forgot. I always forget to do this. So let's do an assessment. So the other day I showed you an arm range of motion. So just take your arm, put it out. I'll turn to the camera, so I'm sideways of the camera. Arm 90 degrees to your body, and just rotate that in both directions and see how far it goes. So for me right now, I can just barely touch the floor. And if I crank, and you see my shoulder come up, if I crank it, I can get more, but kind of stiff right there, and that's kind of about all I can get. Now, if I do these drills and they're good for me, then I should get more range of motion. If they're not good for me, I'll get less range of motion, and then we need to do a different drill, okay? So here we go. Check your arm, see where it's at, and look at something and line it up on the wall. Start to one side with your legs. Exhale, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, out. In, out, in, out. One more time, in, out. Come back to neutral and relax. Check your arm. Is that better or worse? And for me, that didn't really change it. Okay, so what I was just teaching there was a rhythmic breathing in and out that was equal. We didn't do a longer inhale or exhale like I've taught other times. But of course, you can do that for yourself. So you could come up slower and breathe in, and then drop your legs down faster and exhale faster for that cycle, or you could reverse it, or you could just keep it the same like we just did. Okay, so that's version 1, and that's just the really simple version, kind of going back and forth. Now I want to add just a little bit to this, and that's going to get us up into this position, this shin box position, from that laying down. So I'll go back to that, and I'll show you the movement first, and then we'll add breathing to it. So you start here in this neutral. You're going to go ahead and flop your legs over, so you're in that shin box. So your one foot and your one knee are next to each other. Try to get in a position where you can see that. So we're here, we flop our legs over, right? And at the same time, I want you to kind of curl up in a little ball, and you're going to roll over, and now you're going to be on your shoulder. So for me, I'm currently on my left shoulder, I'm in tight here, right? And for me, my left hand is on the ground with my palm up, so my back of my hand is touching the ground. Now what you're going to do is you're going to keep coming forward and you're going to roll this hand onto the ground, and then you're going to push yourself up. So now when you come up, your hand is near your knee. You've got this foot near this knee, and then that leg going behind, okay? So now we're going to reverse it. You start by, you kind of do the spiral motion. So you want to spiral your elbow kind of out, and then you roll your hand over, and you come in and curl up, touch your shoulder to the ground, and then roll to here. Now it's important to kind of keep this tuck, because if you stretch out, when you come to roll over, you won't have the right positioning to get yourself up, right? So as we do this roll, we kind of tuck a little bit, come in, palm up, back of the hand down, come up on it, roll it over, and push yourself up. And we'll go back down, spiral the elbow, roll the hand, come down on your shoulder, roll to neutral. Now we're going to keep going. Hopefully you can hear me. I'll try to talk louder. Do the same thing on the other side. We roll over. Now my opposite knee and foot are going to be together. I take my other hand, back of it's down, roll it over, and push myself up. And then the reverse, spiral that elbow, come down, roll it over, come around, and roll up. I'm going to do that again. We're going to reverse it. Okay. And if you're ending up in a weird position, not kind of like I am, kind of all sprawled out, if you're moving across the floor, part of that is making sure you keep that tuck when you go through, okay? All right. I just went through that a few times. We rolled a couple times, hopefully kind of get how that works. I'm going to show you one more time. So palm at your knee, spiral that elbow, roll your hand over, come down, touch your shoulder, keep this tuck, roll, bring your late knees over, back your hand down, roll it over, spiral up, and then reverse it and spiral up, okay? All right, now we're gonna add breathing to it, just like we did with our legs. We're gonna do the same thing with our breath, okay? So now you can do either direction. You can exhale on the way down, or you can inhale on the way down. It kind of doesn't matter. It could matter for you based on what you reassess better with, right? But for starters, I'm gonna fill up my lungs here, and I'm gonna exhale on my way down, and I'm gonna inhale on the way up on the other side, okay? So breath, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, come here and stop in the middle. And I kind of slid around a little bit. You'll do that. You move across the floor a little bit. So now reassess, see if you're better. And I'm way better. I'm almost touching the floor now. A lot more range of motion there in my arm. So that is a good drill for me. So just for me, just going back and forth here didn't change my neurology, but doing this drill where I'm rolling around, that did, okay? So, and again, we can mix and match how slow or fast we go with our breathing. If we do a long inhale or a long exhale, and we can match that with our movement. I really like doing these because it gives you the opportunity to, remember how I was saying that part of the idea, well, there's hundreds of breathing drills, right? There's all different kinds, and you can get really crazy and fancy with them. But the key component is to bring your unconscious breath into your conscious thought for just a few minutes a day. And it's cool to do that like we've been doing it, where we're just sitting or standing and breathing, but it takes it to another level when you match it with your movement, right? So you're making this rhythm with your breathing, and you're thinking about it at the same time you're doing rhythm movement with your body. And it's a lot of fun, and it's really good to match your movement with your breathing, right? Kind of tie them all together. So I don't know if you can notice, but once again, my voice is dropping pitch a little bit, and that's another indication that doing these drills is good for me. Okay, so let's do a couple more. All right, just because it's making me feel better, and I like them. So, and again, you don't have to tuck your feet in as tight as I am. You can have your feet kind of more out here, and you can still get the same rolling motion out of it. Okay. The key is tucking all of this. That's what will help you keep from wandering way across the room very far. Okay. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Okay, so hopefully that gets you an idea how to do these. Now we got a few minutes left. I'm going to add one more step to this, and then I'm not going to add any more at this point for this video. And this is where we're going to come up off the ground from where we are right now. So if your mobility isn't great and you've been struggling with this and you're more out here, then maybe just kind of watch and get an idea. Or you can give it a try if you want. So what we're going to do from here is we're just going to drive our hips forward and we're just going to come up. Right? So I still have my foot and my knee together here at the same spot. I'm just driving my hips forward. Now, if you can't get that, you can put your hands out in front, create a little counterbalance to come up, right? And if you can't get that, put a hand down, give yourself a little push to come up, okay? So that's another way to do it, all right? So we're gonna come up and we're gonna go back down, all right? Now we add that into the full sequence. So we would start from here. We're gonna breathe in, exhale, inhale, all the way up. Am I still on camera? Hey, look at that, I am. Full breath in, exhale, inhale, all the way up. Okay, let's do it again. So, exhale, inhale, all the way up, and exhale, inhale, all the way up, come back down, and go ahead and just bring yourself back down to here, and retest that arm. So for me, it's about in the same spot, maybe a tiny bit better. And there's more we can add to the sequence where you stand all the way up, but I'm not going to do that today. Let me show you one simplified variation of this. Again, if your hips are tight and this is feeling uncomfortable, you can put your hands behind you here, give yourself some support, and then you can just rock back and forth this way. So this is another way to do it, or even with your legs up further, right? Just get some rotation going here. So you can do it seated with some support behind you. You can go ahead and lay down, do it this way. Okay, there's variations of ways to do this. And from here, you can still do the breathing. So we could go all the way over and we could breathe all the way out. Exhale, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Let's speed up a little bit. Okay, so that's some variation of it. Now I'm breathing through my mouth so you can hear me, hopefully hear the sound so I don't have to say breathe in, breathe out quite as much. But again, I would like for you to be doing that with tongue in the spot, in, all of it going through your nose. Again, if you're congested, just go ahead and breathe through your mouth like I've been doing. Okay, almost up on our 20 minutes here. If anyone has any questions, you can type those in. I know there's a little bit more involved with this one, a lot more movement. Again, you can simplify it. You can reduce your range of motion. You can go slower. You can go faster. You can change your breathing timing and patterns. And these are all great exercises to just help with that, relieving that tension, especially if you're putting your tension in your hips or legs or low back or upper back or into your jaw. These are also great drills. And I know that sounds weird, but there's pairings of your joints throughout your body. Okay. So someone said, can I sit in a chair? Yes, you can sit in a chair, and so your legs would be out in front of you, and you can still move them back and forth, right? In a seated chair position, you can do it the same way. So back to the jaw. So your ankles match with your wrists, your elbows with your knees, so forth throughout your body. Well, your jaw matches up with your tailbone. So when we're rolling through here, we're moving our tailbone around a little bit, and that can help with jaw pain if you're clenching your jaw. All right. So hope all that made sense. I will cover it a little bit more probably in the next video because I know this is a little bit more complicated. On what's today? Tuesday. So on Thursday, if you have any questions, send me an email at kyle@coachkyle.com or type comments here on YouTube, and we'll see you on Thursday. All right. Bye.